Hello and welcome from my State Bank Arena as round 16 of Hungry Jack's NBL continues, and what a massive night we have coming up. It's the first of a doubleheader. It's first v third. It's Melbourne United taking on Tassie. We can't wait for this one. Of course, we continue to celebrate the champion pride round as well. And I've got two of the very best alongside me, Leonard Copeland, Andrew Gaze. This is going to be a cracker. We take a look at the Mitsubishi Motors ladder, and they are just precariously positioned at Tassie. JackJumpers, big difference between a win and a loss tonight.
It is, and you're thinking, oh, we're in third place in 11-11, things are going swimmingly. But then you look down to 7th place and you're out of the playoff action, and they also only have 11 losses. So, yeah, the wins, they've banked a few as compared to the Illawarra Hawks, but there is no margin for error. Scott Roth would be feeling good about himself with that new contract, and Dean Vickerman would be loving himself with the way in which the Melbourne United have performed this season.
Two of the very best, Leonard, but this is interesting head-to-head since NBL24 over the last 3 seasons. The JackJumpers with the only winning record against Melbourne United.
They love Melbourne. Whenever they come to town, they get a win. And it just proves what Roth has done with this team. He fires them up. And if you can't get fired up with this team right now, the first place team, something's wrong.
And of course, there are superstars on both sides tonight, Gazy. One of them, this man, Milton Doyle. He just proved again that he's the man down the stretch. He only had 3 points at three-quarter time against the Hawks and then set them alight. Almost got them over the line, couldn't quite.
He's a special player. Anyone that's got that clutch gene is fun to watch, and he certainly has that. Steps up in big moment, not afraid of the big moment. Jordan Crawford, the numbers look okay. Shooting percentages are down, but anytime you're averaging 17 or almost 18 points a game, that's very handy. But his shooting percentages, Copes, they're not really where they need to be of late.
Absolutely. And in the beginning of the season, though, he was on fire. So whatever's happened from then to now, they need to fix it, because he was leading this team in scoring, assists with Milton Doyle, and they look very good.
You're putting most at stake tonight, Leonard. And you spoke about his numbers at home and away, which is really interesting because his field goal percentage has dropped away in recent games. We know he had the 24 points in this outing. That was on 24 shots, but this is fascinating. His record at home compared to when he plays away.
Maybe he has that mentality, it's us against the world, because when he goes on the road, there's no distractions. You know, the kids aren't crying. He's focused on that game and getting it done, and it's proven by the way he's playing on the road.
Well, the good news for Melbourne United fans, and just for basketball fans in general tonight, Gazy, is Dean Vickerman's been on record this week as saying, I want Chris Goulding to get up more threes, because in the last four games, his numbers have dropped down to only 7.5 a game. He wants to get it back up to over 10.
And given the way he's shooting it, he should. And it's about trying to find ways in which to get him good looks. He can come down, and as soon as he steps over the centre line, he's a threat. The mid-range, a little step back, but what he can do from the three-point line, people are guarding it. They're saying, if you're going to beat us, well, we'll accept the contested 2, but we're going to try and completely take the 3-ball away. And as such, he hasn't had as many good looks. They need to structurally find ways to bring him up a little bit more, but while you're winning, he might say that, but as long as you're winning, he's happy with how many, it doesn't matter how many 3-pointers Chris Goulding gets.
Well, we'll keep an eye on Chris Goulding, but Leonard, you want to speak about Luke Travers being a bit of a barometer for this Melbourne United side?
Look, when he plays well, they play well. 13-1 on the road when he is aggressive, when he's scoring 10 points plus. So if I'm Dean Vickerman, the first 2 or 3 plays, I'm trying to get him going early. Get him going early, because he will rebound, he will run the floor, he does all the little things, Drewy, to keep this team going.
Also part of the call team tonight, he's the busiest man in the NBL. He's flown down to Tassie. Pete Hooley, come in, welcome.
Yeah, guys, thanks for having me. Some good news for Melbourne United fans for next week. Both Shea Ili and JLA are expected to play. JLA joined the team back this week after missing some time for personal reasons. It's more about just getting his game day fitness ready. He'll be joining next Friday, and Shea Ili is progressing well enough. There's no need to rush him. They can be cautious with his history. He's expected to play next Friday as well. It's a big test for Matthew Dellavedova. Without his running mate, Shea Ili, Dean Vickerman and Melbourne United have to decide, is he going to go to Jordan Crawford or is he going to go to Milton Doyle? We're about to find out, and then somebody else has to pick up who would be the other elite weapon that Shea Ili normally goes to.
Yeah. We'll take a look at the starting fives to both sides. And what is remarkable about the Melbourne United season, Gazy, is this tonight is their 10th different starting lineup this season.
And a lot of that's because of the injuries that they've had to deal with. Chris Goulding, though, his worst game of the season was in this venue against the Tasmanian JackJumpers. 1 of 9, had the 7 points, and this starting lineup, Copes, it's one of the more consistent throughout the entire season.
It is very consistent, this same lineup they've been going with all year long. But I tell you what, Marcus Lee has to stay out of foul trouble, because if he doesn't, then they're going to be in trouble.
Yeah, they've only had to change once, and that was the one game Milton Doyle missed for personal reasons. Otherwise, it has been the same starting 5 all season. As we said, it's the first of a doubleheader. Perth Wildcats, Brisbane Bullets after this, but this is the big one. First v third. Packed house as always down in Tassie. And looking forward to seeing if they can get off to a good start. The JackJumpers, they go to McVeigh. And good defence straight away from Hook Porty. Travers looks to push the tempo. Good start.
Yeah, and that's what they're elite at, running the floor. They play at a high tempo, and they've got the athletes. They run in waves. It's just not 1 or 2. They come down there, and even that time they had some options, and Travers finishes nicely around the rim.
You know, these two sides, they match up really well against each other. The last 7 outings, 6 of them have been decided by single digits. They're always close. It's going to be tight. Dover's been in sparkling form. Travers, we believe, is playing with a bit of some sort of hot spot in his shin, playing sore. That he's going to continue to play without some of his other teammates as Goulding straight off the bat.
Can I say the word trouble? Trouble. Trouble. Because when you let him look at that rim, see that rim early, you're in trouble. Yeah. And he knew, look, he's the first person to know he played bad the last time he was here. So he wanted to get himself going. And the first shot is a 3.
Well, starts have been an issue for Melbourne United lately. The last 5 games they've played, they've trailed at quarter time and trailed at half time. It was an ambitious attempt from Goulding, but he's been given the green light, I'm telling you, as Hook Porty will get to the strike for the first time.
No, the Harvey Norman replay, and this is Chris Goulding. You talk about a green light. This is a fluorescent green light because he has the confidence from his coach, and more importantly, he's got the confidence in his teammates. And why wouldn't you when you're shooting the ball like Chris Goulding? And down low, they're the sorts of plays you've got to come up with. Size advantage, there was a defensive transition, a mismatch, and Hook Porty goes to the line to shoot a couple of free throws, but this is a good start for Melbourne United.
Played the most minutes of his career last week against New Zealand. Ariel Hook Porty, the 32 minutes. His running mate, Joe Luala-Chul, missing again for personal reasons tonight.
Speaking of Hook Porty, you guys remember at the beginning of the season, he was the man. He was on fire, scoring a lot, rebounding a lot, blocking shots. And then when JLA came back, it sort of slowed him down. He lost some minutes. You know, but he was playing fantastic basketball.
I think he's had a good season. It's going to be really interesting. You see different reports on where he might land in the upcoming NBA draft, but that big body, you know, I think these days that they like to see players that can stretch the floor no matter who you are, and he's probably got a bit of work to do that. Just a little discussion here on whether it should be shooting foul or not.
White 21, hit. We have 2 shots.
I think, and they come up what seemed like an obvious conclusion, but I'm not sure. Maybe there was some dispute about whether or not it should have been, there was someone hit the backboard or goaltend, perhaps.
There's no definitive evidence at the end that there's a pass, okay? All right, so he's definitely shooting the ball. We go with 2 shots.
There's the explanation from the referees. 80% free throw shooter, Jordan Crawford. I just spoke about his efficiency, dropping away his last 5 games, averaging just under 13 points a game at 30% from the field.
Not great, but you know what? This is the best way to get you going. You see that ball go in the rim. Free throws, both, well, 1 goes in. Get that ball to go in the rim.
Just needed to wait.
Yeah, I should have waited. I should have waited, yeah. I'm learning, Drew, I'm learning.
As United can get out of the box. And there's Ian Clark in the starting lineup.
Well, he is the polar opposite to Jordan Clark. Jordan Crawford, because Clark has been shooting lights out the entire season. The last couple of games, his percentage has been a little down, but his numbers across the board are really impressive.
Well, he was going at a ridiculous rate, wasn't he? At 55% from the three-point.
Threes.
Yeah.
Now, he's still at near enough to 49% from threes. That is outstanding shooting.
They're into this one, they're enjoying it, but it's United. Control early. Alvadova, you know, he can play facilitator, he can score. I want to work through Golding again. He's jacked up his third attempt early.
No, they need to come down and find Milton Doyle. Get him, let him touch the ball. Even if he doesn't shoot it, he needs to touch it to feel a part of it.
It's been a scratchy start from the JackJumpers. You might expect the timeout to be coming soon.
More than scratchy.
There it is. Scott Roth, snooze timeout early. Sloppy start from the JackJumpers.
It is, and there are critical moments in games. You're down 8, only scored the single free throw, and that's what Copes was 100% spot on. That was a time you needed to get it through some hands and find Milton Doyle and get him an opportunity.
Saw Ian Clark get on the end of it. Now, man, Pete Hooley caught up with him pre-game.
I see you coming off a big win in New Zealand. How's the week of prep been leading into this game against Tassie?
It's been good. Obviously, it was a nail biter down there, but it was good to come out and get a win, especially the way we did it in the fashion that we did it in. We're having everybody involved.
We know what your role is coming off the bench. No Shea or JLA again. What's impressed you most about the other bench guys stepping in to make contributions?
It's been our motto all year. We've had injury problems all throughout the year, guys being in and out the lineup, but it's always next man up mentality. Guys being able ready to play, and we see it in practice, and it's good to see it put the use on the court.
2 years ago in Sydney, the team was flying and you went on to win a championship. Do you notice any similarities to where that team's at compared to where Melbourne's at right now?
More so just the camaraderie of the guys. Everybody obviously on one accord and wanting to play together, and everybody enjoying and playing with each other. I think that's a big thing as well.
He speaks about the injury troubles and players stepping up. It probably went under the radar a little bit. They go to New Zealand without 2 of their starters. If any other team had gone over New Zealand and won without 2 starters, we'd be heaping praise on them. But because they're just so consistent and so good, Melbourne, it almost flew under the radar a little bit.
People forget they got 2 guys on their team that have won NBA titles. And then 2 bigs. Then they got the best shooter in the league. They're stacked. Travis, who rebounds and plays any position. They are stacked, Dewey.
They are, and that's an important play. Jack McVeigh is a big piece of what they do. One of their more consistent performers across the entire season, and certainly they hurt them last week when he fouled out and he wasn't available in crunch time because he doesn't shy away from the moment. But this penetration, is there a team that puts more heat on the rim than Melbourne United? They've got some talent. There's McVeigh splashing the 3, and down the other end, just Travers, and that's a foul. Magnate just too late, gets him in the head.
Saw those numbers on Luke Travers before. When he either struggles and scores under 10 points, or when he hasn't played. Melbourne have been 2 and 4 this year. Sat out a couple of games, second game back, and he's given away cheeseburgers early. Code word Taz. Get the up. Got that out the way early in this one.
Very nice.
Just looking to eat into the margin, Magnate. Checking into the game twice for Porty. Protected the basket, and now Golding in transition. Here's Travers again. Great defense at the other end from Milton Doyle.
It's like they put those whistles away. I thought that foul on Magnate was the play on Magnate was a foul, but.
And then Hook Porty. This is why they're first and third in defensive rating in the competition as McVeigh knocks back-to-back threes.
He is tough, Drew. And I've been speaking about him for a long time. When he left Adelaide, I was mesmerized by why they let him go. I still don't understand it, but he's come to Tasmania and just fit in quite well.
One of only 8 players in the league who average over 15 points and 5 boards a game.
I had him last week. We spoke about this. He's co-captain of my all-body language team, because if you're going into a contest and you come into the venue and you don't know the scores, you can't tell by his behaviour whether they're 20 up or 20 down. He's got that consistency, and it's always seemingly jovial and confident. It may not internally always feel that way, but externally, Joey, and you know from your days of being part of some championship teams yourself, that's an important part of it.
And he scores when they need him too. He's not big numbers, but he knocks down shots, and they needed a couple of baskets just to get themselves back into this contest. They've done well. Trailed by 10 early. Here's Clark looking to be aggressive. And again, some good defense from Doyle. That's twice. There's the confidence in McVeigh. Well, he looked to go again. He's got young Bowen. Takes his time, goes with the left, and he's got 8 points in a row for the JackJumpers.
He's tough, man. He's got the size, and you put the ball onto the floor, he can shoot the three.
And he's crafty around the rim. As you saw there, wasn't all that smooth, but still found a way to get it up, and Clark just walks into the paint and knocks down the easy shot. And they are getting in there a little easier than what I think Scott Roth would like.
Helped himself to 6 points early, Ian Clark. We said no Shea Illy as well as John. Oh, talk about the pass from Doyle and Hook Porty. Again, protecting the rim.
Is that 3 blocks for Hook Porty already? That is his 3rd block.
Yep.
Look at this pass, though. Milton Doyle reads the situation perfectly. He knew Hook Porty was coming over. Krislovic just too slow to get it up. He needed to just catch and go straight up. I don't think he was aware that the pass was coming, and he just took that half a second to gather, which allowed Hook Porty just to say, no, sir, not in my house, coach.
And we spoke about him going to the NBA. Yes, you do need an outside shot these days as a big man, but he does this well. He blocks shots well. That timing is unbelievable.
Got 2 of the best rim protectors in the competition out here tonight. Magnat, the other end, as Golding knocks down his 2nd triple. Just continuing on. He's in maybe a little mini slump by his high standards, but bounced back with the 24 points against the Breakers. As Krislovic has got the range. That's Clint Steiner, in fact.
Speaking of shooters, he can let it fly.
And that's his bread and butter. That's just a defensive breakdown for him to get that wide open, because that's what he's on there for. There's no surprise about what he's going to do. He does spread the floor and open up that driving lane.
Both coaches have turned to their benches. Cameron just shows a bit of composure for the youngster. Nice finish.
I love this guy.
Strong, isn't he?
I love the way he plays. He comes from elite stock. Of course, we all know his father, Pero, and how great he was in both the NBL and playing for the New Zealand national team. This guy here, if he's on any other team in the competition, he's playing a lot more minutes than what he's playing with Melbourne United.
Just saw Porty take a seat. We'll get down courtside to Pete Hooley.
Yeah, guys, obviously with no JLA, Melbourne United are going to rely heavily on Hook Porty, especially inside on the defensive end. He's been elite to start this one, but he's also under a bit of a, not so much an injury cloud, a soreness cloud. He copped an elbow a couple of days ago and had to go and have some facial surgery to fix a tooth. Don't know if he lost all of it, but he lost most of it. That's why he's currently dealing with a swollen mouth as well, but it's been a very promising start for the next start.
Might just have to bypass interviews with Hook Porty tonight. Bulls.
Troy, you're one of your favorite plays, Drew, back door.
Well, actually, that just came off some flex action. Beautiful set, the misdirection on the strong side, and then the weak side cut allows for a real easy layup. Good execution.
Danovic it was, as Krebs has been in good shooting form. Can't get that to fall, but good hustle from Flynn Cameron, and he's kept the possession. Good heads-up play.
He's come in and been great early.
He can shoot it, great activity around the rim, a real genuine energy guy.
Remarkably, the last 6 meetings between these two sides, the away team has won.
8 out of the last 11.
Yeah. Anomaly in the statistics I don't usually see, particularly with the JackJumpers talking a lot about defending their court.
Well, when I see these teams play, I always look at it like a chess match with the coaches. Dean does his thing, Ross does his thing.
Well, that's just right there, coach. It's beautiful action. They run the exact same play, but rather than the flex cut, they go and they down screen for the shot. Beautifully executed.
Dellavedova wanted a foul.
Oh,
It's going to be an offensive foul. Yeah. Steindl not happy. His body's flying everywhere already in this first quarter.
Travers with a knee knock. Bang! Oh, on Steindl. No good.
Especially for a player already coming in, as we said, with some shin soreness.
those can really hurt.
stingers.
The sting. Yeah, it takes you about 2 minutes to shake it off.
And then you shake it off, and then the next morning, oh, shit. No good. Just need some of those Blackmore's glucosamine tablets, and you're back on track.
Inside the final 2.5 minutes, there's Delvedova, who's been passing the ball so well, but Travers can't get the fall. A chance here for Tassie to tie it up. Trailing by 10 early.
It was on. They hard showed. This is some action that, if you think of the defensive strategies that Melbourne United do, a lot of it is just hard showing. So that roll, and you could see the pass was there, just the execution couldn't quite get it there. And the only reason that play was broken up because of ball pressure. You got hands down and you're just attending, that's a layup.
Here's Crawford. Legs that one short.
Another pass with hands up.
Zdanovic almost forced the turnover. Melbourne keep possession. Shot clock in single figures, and Clark stepped out of bounds. Some good defense from both these sides in this first quarter. As we said, Melbourne, we know, #1 offensive rating and defensive rating. It's no surprise why they're on top. But Tassie surprising second for offensive rating, third defensively. So even though they're not getting the wins, you touched on it earlier, Casey, they're playing some pretty solid basketball.
Very close losses and in winnable positions in most games. Just haven't been able to close the deal.
Every loss this season is by being 8 points or less. You know that for Tassie. There's McDonald went high off the glass, but there's Lee to clean it up.
And Lee would know this team. Lee played for Melbourne last year, so he knows some of these plays and what's going on here.
Porty back on the floor. As Pete Hawley told us, he's going to have his hands full with that Magnay and Lee. Double team. And again, some good defense. Crawford looking to use his speed. Great ball movement from Tassie.
Great give and go.
Just a really good recognition by Sean McDonald. It was not an easy pass. He had to thread the needle, but he read it magnificently.
And again, Lee's length causes the miss from Travers, who just doesn't look to be moving too freely with Travers, so we'll keep an eye on that one. Zdanovic will let it fly. Almost got the bounce.
Lee with the hustle, crashes the O boards, earns another possession for his team. There was that, had to just split the gap with the pass. And again, they're hedging high on the handoff or the on ball, and that roll action, unless you've got some weak side help, that's going to be on.
They've certainly woken from their slumber. They were down 11-1 early, and now they lead by 4. And if this man gets going, watch out.
Tell you what, that jump shot's coming back, Drewy. He's found his range.
It's wet, coach. That's what the young folk tell me. Wet.
Drewy, stick to your age, bro.
And that's going to be a goal,
Come on, Lee.
And a wry smile, he knew that.
Even though you gave up the 2 points, sometimes you just need to do that to intimidate your opponent. You know, just slap that ball out of there. Don't bring that trash in here.
Yeah.
Unless there's a turnover here, it'll be JackJumpers with the lead at quarter time. It'll be 6 consecutive games that Melbourne will trail at quarter time. It won't bother them though. But it's important for Tassie to get a fast start. One last Hail Mary, won't get it off Ian Clark. No foul on the call.
Okay.
After being down 11-1 early, the JackJumpers, they're fired up. Good game of basketball. We're looking forward to it. Stick with us, don't go anywhere.
give it up for the Solstice Jump Squad and JackJumpers. Goodness me. Turn out to hit home. Switch to the Solstice. Proud partners of the Solstice Jump Squad. Goodness me, I watched Brett Costello. I don't know if anyone else in the building, but I felt a lifting in that.
Well, they've lost their last 4 out of 5 at home, the JackJumpers. But they are looking to defend the island tonight against the ladder leaders, Melbourne United. There were danger signs early when Chris Golding was knocking down the Mitsubishi Motors threes, but then McVeigh was able to get a couple, and then the JackJumpers found their groove in the back end of this first quarter. And after trailing by 10, they lead by 2 points in high-quality basketball.
It is, and they've got good production. Jack McVeigh was crucial. When things looked like it was getting away from him very early on, he's come in and he's 3 of 5 for his 8 points, and Crawford looks like he has got his groove back on.
You know what bothers me, though? Milton Doyle did not even attempt a shot.
No. Yeah, he did.
Did he?
Milton Doyle. No, you're right.
Well, while you two discuss that, I'll get down to courtside.
No, you're right.
Pete Hooley was in the Tassie huddle.
Yeah, guys. Oh, my word.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Call that one for us, Hools.
Well, I just saw a baptism live, fellas, but I'll tell you what, Scott Roth was really impressed with the fight. He'll be more impressed with that. But he said right now it's all about just speeding up Melbourne United, making sure they rebound out of it. And I tell you what, we've seen a lot of NBA eyes float around the arenas. They didn't stay in New South Wales. They decided to venture down here. We have the Indiana Pacers, Charlotte Hornets, and the Phoenix Suns all in attendance to watch this. And I think they would have just enjoyed that one.
Boy, he wasn't going to let him do it twice.
Oh, boy. And here's a Harvey Norman replay. Toss it up in the air anywhere near the ring, the backboard, and I'm going to get it. And that's on your head, Porty. Take that one.
Well, he's in no man's land. He was in a drop situation. And Dellavedova, it's a long way to come, but I think he's got to get in there and try and help tag that roll-up. If they're going to get around, Hook Porty's got to go help because they're trailing on those screens. So not a whole lot he could have done about that one.
And a strong start for Marcus Lee. Already got the 7 points and 6 boards. And he averages 6.6 boards a game. So having some real influence against his former side.
You know how it is when you play against your former side. You want to let them know what they missed out on doing. You wouldn't know because you played for the Melbourne Tigers for 200 years.
Steindl, McDonald, Lee, Crawford, and McVeigh on the floor for the JackJumpers. Jordan Crawford had the 7 points in that first quarter.
You know how,
there's your tag, right?
You know how I was talking about how Dellavedova on that weak side, Joe, he's got to come in and tag him. Well, he did it then. He's seen it once, and he said, I need to help my man out, and he gets called for the foul.
And make sure you don't miss this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to see the Chicago Bulls champions, Pippen, Grant, and Longley, as they come to Australia, presented by Coca-Cola in this interactive storytelling experience, never before told stories. Hosted by Shane Jacobson, Hobart, Melbourne, Sydney this February. Go check it out. Tickets available at NBL.com.au/snowball.
Rothy's come out with the little sneaky back doors and the little sneaky out-of-bounds plays, the alley-oops.
Well, they are a little susceptible because they're trying to play so aggressive. Up in the lanes, really putting a lot of pressure, jumping out on those screens. And if you're prepared for it, it's still not easy to do, but they've done a good job of it.
Well, let's get back down earlier. Pete Hooley caught up with Jordan Crawford.
JC, big game tonight, obviously. Tell us a bit about how the week's been on the practice floor.
It's just been about us, trying to get better every day, winning the day, tighten things up on defense, and, preparing for Melbourne.
Will Magnay said that you know what needs to be done to turn this around. What exactly is that?
I think it's just getting back to just playing free. I think, we've been playing a little kind of uptight, everybody top to bottom, whether it's just trying to make a play and, thinking too much. And now it's just about just going out there, playing defense, having fun, and doing what we do.
We know this place can be a fortress. The fans go crazy. How important is it to take care of business on the home floor and build this fortress back up?
Yeah, fans been amazing all year. Even when, we have some tough losses, they support us, and it's been amazing. So to get the fans going and from the beginning and start getting the game flowing, I think it'll be big for us.
they don't seem to feel they're far off, do they? When you hear them talk,
No.
you just spoke about playing with a bit of freedom. They maybe got a bit uptight late in games. It's interesting that they've been outscored in 8 of their last 9 final quarters. So they've just been able to finish in the job, get it done. So let's see this game when it'll be tight down the stretch. We know that.
They haven't been playing bad basketball, even though they haven't been able to come up with some wins during this period. But tonight they've been encouraged by the rebound count. You've got the 2 best rebound percentage teams in the competition playing here tonight, but the Jackies are leading that category 17-12, which is a good sign. It shows that they're aggressive, they're attacking the boards, and that's a tough shot.
Struggling to find their groove on offense at the moment. United has seen Clark. First Krebs couldn't get it to fall. It's been a 28-11 run since that fast start from United.
And Crawford was talking about team getting back to playing the way the JackJumpers play. You're at that stage where you start having team meetings, and you're losing games you probably shouldn't lose, Joey. And you start having these player-only meetings and team meetings, trying to get yourself back on track. And obviously, when you're playing against the #1 team in the league, if you can't get fired up for this team, then you can't get fired up.
Well, they are the yardstick because they've dominated the competition, and every team, when they're coming into town, they know that they're going to be tested against the very best.
They feel there is a sense, it's a poor pass. It was on again. There might just be a slight vulnerability about Melbourne United. It's their 5th consecutive road game at the moment. We know they're missing a couple of starters.
Yes.
They're essentially 3 games clear on top of the ladder.
Yes.
It's not easy, is it? It's tough for this Melbourne United side to just continue to keep buttering up week after week.
It is, but what it tells them is if we can win without some of our starters or being on the road, then we prepare ourselves for when we get back home.
Well, when you are playing with a 3-game advantage like that on top of the ladder, there's a little less pressure on you, though. Yeah. So you're a bit freer. Your mind doesn't rush as quick as what it can when you've got all that anxiety and pressure on you. So it's a fun place to be in when you've got this type of margin.
Lee, we spoke about it off air. It's hard to stay in first place the whole year.
Yep.
And then when playoff time comes around, things get a little tight, Joey.
Yeah, it's almost like you have more pressure on you when you've done that.
Yeah.
And it's self-inflicted pressure because across 28 games, if you're on top, you've earned it.
There's Golding, gets his 8th point. There's a bit of human nature, you think, just to breathe out a little bit when you're sitting pretty on top, but you know how good a coach Dean Vickerman is, he won't allow it from this group. They've got their work cut out. JackJumpers are certainly up for the challenge after that slow start. Good feed. Although Lee missed the bunny, he'd be frustrated with that.
That's one he'd wake up in the middle of your sleep.
And then Dellavedova couldn't get that one to fall.
That's why I let that go, okay?
Well, I don't know if
I've got a drive down the basket. Green 13, hit.
I thought it might have been off the ball foul, but
Marcus.
there you see it down there. It looked like Hook Porty just took out Lee. In fact, the JackJumpers should feel perhaps a little upset because
he had him hooked.
He could have, if he was coming in there, he was going to be. You got one of the best shot blockers in the business right at the rim, and it looked like Hook Porty took him out of the play.
Hook Porty had him hooked.
Nice.
My best work. That's some of my best work, dude.
Sort of playoff form, and we've still got time to go, coach. Delly's been in, speaking of good form, 13 points and 9 assists in his last 3 games. And the incredible thing is only 4 turnovers
That's
in that
amazing.
period.
That's amazing.
The amount he handles the ball.
Remember in the beginning of the year when he came out and he was shooting everything, and people were saying, hold up, this isn't your team, this is Chris Goldie's team. But he's managed to play within the system and find ways of scoring and playing defense and rebounding. There we go, that's my man, that's my man.
And he always finds ways to score, Milton Doyle. We spoke about Dellavedova, #1 in the competition for assists. And he commits the least turnovers of any of the starting point guards in the competition. He's doing a great job leading this side as Porty might have travelled.
Might have.
It seemed to go a long way without putting the ball on the floor.
Still hold on to it. 4-point lead here as Crawford gets the home court bounce. It hasn't been his happy hunting ground. We spoke about his numbers earlier. Only 14 points a game at home, 21 on the road. And he's had a nice start tonight. 9 points on 50% from the field as Krebs finally gets one to fall.
That's a pretty shot. That's a beautiful stroke.
Well, he's found his role. This, to me, has been his best season in the NBL as well.
JackJumpers leave another one under the basket. Here's Golding. He's not shy tonight. That's his 6th attempt already from long range.
Well, the coach gave him the motivation and the encouragement, going underneath what Krebs has been doing this season and allowing to shoot. To me, I think this season in particular, you need to show him a bit more respect.
Yeah, his last 10 games shooting over 50% from long range, Tony Krebs.
Yeah.
You know,
a slow start.
Yeah.
When you got Golding and Clark shooting the ball in practice, you know how you have those shooting competitions in practice?
Yeah, gotcha.
And you got guys like Krebs who can shoot as well. He's got to make you a better shooter overall anyway.
Lifts the standards.
Yeah, of course.
It's Doyle, good long on that one. They'll keep possession. They'll get a quiet start for Milton Doyle, just the 2 points.
Well, this is an interesting lineup the JackJumpers go. It's their smaller lineup with Chris Levick as the 5. And they rest Lee and Magnay. And I think they do that while Porty's out of the game. So Melbourne United counter with their small lineup.
There's McVeigh. There's the energy. Gazy.
There he is. Captain. Jacob Wiley and the co-captains over in the all body language team.
He's got that look in his eye tonight as McVeigh, as we get down courtside to Pete Hawley.
Hey guys, you're talking about Hook Porty going to the bench and the way they're going to play Fabian Kristovic and Will Magnay. Will Magnay picked up the 2 fouls in just a minute of game time. Now, Coach, we've spoke about this. We've seen Scott Ross. He sticks to his guns. He doesn't care who you are. If you pick up 2 fouls in the first quarter or early in the second, he's going to sit you until the 3rd quarter. He did it with Milton Doyle a few weeks ago as well, and a lot of people questioned it. It'll be very interesting to see if he's going to get any more minutes into Magnay before halftime, but it's something he seems to do a whole lot. Doesn't matter whether you're the first player or the 11th. You got 2, you're going to sit.
Not sure. That's a risky policy because I understand you've got to protect the player, but it's a long time to be sitting on the bench.
And especially if you expect for him to come in and do something in the second half. You got to let him touch that floor just a little bit. Maybe show a little bit of trust in your player.
As Crawford answers the other end, especially when he played the 30 minutes last week, Will Magnay, it looked like maybe they were going to release the shackles on him and let him play some big minutes.
He's such a dominant player, rebounding and blocking shots. I reckon you got to give him a little bit more time, Joey. To play 1 minute.
Even if it's just short minutes, just so you stay connected with the game, the feel of the game, the pace of the game.
The blood flow in your legs.
We got a... was a foul on the shooter, I think.
Yes, bonus.
Little and one opportunity.
You dropped the shoulder, you come out, you lined him up.
I know it's mine too. He's an aggressive.
2 shots. Yeah. Come over here.
Here we go.
Come on this side because I can't hear you with
Not quite sure exactly what happened there because Jordan Crawford knocked down a little mid-range and Drimmick.
Must have been off the ball. An off-the-ball foul.
In the bonus. We get a couple.
That's right. Let's have a look. It's in the rebounding contest.
Dang.
Now, is that a foul?
Well, it seemed pretty soft, but again, maybe I don't have the rule right, but it seemed like the ball had clearly gone through. So isn't it an offensive control foul anyway?
I think so. I think it is yours.
That wasn't convincing.
I'm not 100%.
The shot was still in the air.
Well, was it though? I think if you look at the replay, the ball had gone in to the rim, but maybe not.
We did. We looked. It was still in the air. Just Gazy, you're close.
Is that right?
Joey, clean your glasses, bro.
Okay. Okay, I'll just have to get Adam forward onto that one as well.
Crawford this time playing facilitator for Krislovic.
Great pass. And clearly, Roth has gone in, and this week they've worked on back doors and
the
pressure
counters.
pass. Yeah, the counters.
The
absolutely.
counters for the way in which they assumed that Melbourne United would be playing them, and they're doing a good job of picking them off.
11 assists on their 16 field goals for the JackJumpers as Clark again helps himself to another 2. First United player in double digits.
And that's probably one of the advantages. I know it's a heartbreaking loss, and you usually want to get straight back out there and play another team. They've had all week to go through it, but clearly it's helped them with their preparation.
Push, white ball.
Nice. It's that slip pass, and again, it's on the show. And they find the pass.
Doubling Crawford off the screen, and the big man rolls to the basket for a wide open.
Well, Bowen's right there. The thing he's got to do, if you're going to do that, you need a lot of ball pressure because you know your man's rolling if they're fighting over the top of those screens.
Well, we've got a snooze timeout, and pre-game Peter Hawley caught up with Dean Vickerman to speak about Pride Round.
Pride Round, Dino, tell us a little bit about what it means to you.
Yeah, you know, the memories straight away of Isaac Humphries being in our building, and you know, seeing Melbourne United as a safe space to come out and make his announcement. That he was, you know, at the time the only gay basketballer. So I think that's what we want to try and achieve with our sport, is that it is a safe space for anyone, and hopefully anyone can enjoy basketball and feel comfortable.
You're obviously forever going to have that relationship with Isaac Humphries, seeing what he's doing now, the way he's playing. How does that make you feel as well?
Yeah, and, you know, watching him the other night in the Pride Round and how aggressive he's playing, and his body's back in great shape, and yeah, he's a problem right now, so really happy for him.
It was one of the powerful clips of last season, watching Isaac Humphries come out to his teammates, and of course the NBL is a place for everyone. And they've just got a bit of thinking to do. Melbourne United at the moment trying to stop the Tassie JackJumpers offense. It seems to be humming after that slow start.
Well, they miss Shea, obviously, because he's one of those guys that would have picking up Crawford from 94, from word go. Slowing the ball down, slowing their pace down, shutting down some of those plays. So
No, I think this has been a really good display by the JackJumpers on the offensive end. They've played with great control, only got the 4 turnovers. In fact, Melbourne United only have 1. So we've got a game where both teams have taken really good care of the basketball.
Going to play for Golding to get involved. He got worked off the 3-point line, but again, it's another one to drop. He's up to 10 points as well now, Chris Golding.
And even though that's a tough shot, that's what you want to do. You want to make him shoot 2s and not 3s. Once he starts knocking on those 3s like that, then it's over.
There's Drink with his feet set. Crawford playing facilitator. 3 assists. Jordan Crawford to go his 11 points. As Dellavedova threw it up for Travis. We'll go to the stripe.
One of the best in the business at this pass is Matthew Dellavedova down the other end. The penetration, the help. That's the pass I was talking about. Knows the abilities of his teammates, and it's not an easy pass, Cope. It's always very good and well to have that bounce to be able to go get up there, but you've got to be able to put it on point.
Thanks to Reebok, the official footwear partner of the NBL. This is your chance to sit in the Pump by Reebok seats at John Cain Arena on Feb 18. Flights, accommodation are included, a $500 Reebok gift voucher, and gear up in style. Enter now. Just go to nbl.com.au/Reebok for the best seats in the house.
All right.
We'll get back down to courtside. Speaking of the best seat in the house, Pete Hawley.
Yeah, guys, I mean, Joey, we just heard 2 guys who absolutely hated to pass talk about how hard it is to pass. So I'm not sure how much more simpler it's going to go, but when you put the ball in the basket as good as they did, that's all that matters, right, Casey?
Wow. Well, just in the halftime break, can you just go check your statistical data on passing and just get back to me? Anyway.
Well, I'll put my hand up. I hated the pass. No passing at all.
That's just power move. Get to the rim, get to your spot, finishing it around the rim. Another good, well-executed action by the Jackies.
Leading scorer in the game, Jack McVeigh, 12 points. We got them started. Now they get a turnover.
Good hands by Lee. Came in and helped out.
Again, good ball movement outside. Steindl again, I should say. That's twice. They just knocked it down.
They're punishing the roller. And Lee there, they're still a little late. They show, then they release. Clark was there, but then when they recover, straight away the unselfish play and the kick out, everything coming together on the offensive end for the Jackies.
Well, they are shooting at 63% from three-point range. Melbourne United just at 23%. That's been a bit of the difference. We have a snooze timeout.
Yes, and Melbourne United got some things to work on. Do they change some of their strategies, or do they just do what they're doing and try and do it better? That's usually what the good teams do, and say, hey, you know, some of our positioning's right there. We just got to do and execute better rather than necessarily going and looking at other options. But they've got a few different things, looks that they can go to on the defensive end. But as you mentioned, with some of that personnel not there, sometimes it's just personnel.
100%. They're used to playing. Shea's used to playing and slowing the ball down, slowing the pace down. He's so good at that. But now the JackJumpers are coming down doing what they want to do. And like you said, they're punishing the roller. And I'm sure Dean will have a long chat with the team and make some adjustments in the second half. But for right now, the JackJumpers are doing what they want to do.
Remember, though, Scott Roth feels very comfortable playing against Melbourne United. He's got a 7-4 head-to-head record against Dean Vickerman. And again, he's giving them something to think about. Remember, they were down by 10 early. It's been a big first half in front of their home fans. It has been an issue for them. They've lost 6 of their last 9 at home. They're not really defending the island like we're used to. But they're certainly playing some of their best right now. But we know this Melbourne United side aren't going to go anywhere. There's a foul's called on Steindl.
It's been a big week for the Jackies. Signing a guy like Scott Roth, there's no doubt that he would have had opportunities in other parts of the world. And two great things. One is that man loves his country and loves Tasmania enough to want to stay. And for the JackJumpers and their administration to rewarding what he's been able to do.
Here's Hook Porty, and the match-up on Crawford. Lee came and supported, and the foul called. Take a look at the replay. Crawford just tried to strip and did chop the arm.
Crawford, get your little butt out of there. You too small to be down low with the big boys. Come on, man. What's he doing down there?
Oh, well, that's what he's got to do. He's got to be active hands and do your work around the navel area, because as soon as it gets up around his belly button, it's too high.
You guys are funny.
Knocked down another couple. 4 from 4 from the stripe for Hook Porty. 6 points, 6 rebounds for him. A good matchup with Marcus Lee. Of course, we haven't seen much of Will Magnate. As Pete Hawley told us, just played under 2 minutes after picking up a couple of fouls. We'll see him in the second half. Crawford's been really busy tonight. He's looking comfortable at the offensive end. Helps himself to another 2. He's up to 13 for 3 assists. And then dove it over. Uncharacteristically, he turns it over.
Just speaking about his turnovers. And it's a little different now. Deli's playing point and has to play defense, which he's used to doing, but there's always Shea there to help him out and bring that ball down the court and run the plays, and it's not easy.
Inside the final minute, Crawford just forced that one. A chance here for Melbourne United in transition. Clark still struggling a little bit from long range. Crawford feeling good about himself. Pulls up in transition. He's got 16.
He dropped that one from the sky, Jordan. That was tough.
We had the closeout, so we had to adjust to put a little extra arc on it. And wow. There's that passing action right there. That is on point. Now, I know the other one out to the 3 ball, the one before that, is way too high, but that is Beautiful passing by Matthew Dellavedova. You want to see a display of Matthew Dellavedova passing, go to the Rio Olympics. Go get some tape of the Rio Olympics. Oh, superb.
There's Crawford knocking it down. He's had his struggles from the field recently. He's 3 of 4 from long range tonight. Final 1.6 seconds. Daly didn't get it away in time. It's been a wonderful first half by the Tassie JackJumpers. And if you are a supporter, you'll be excited by this, Gazy. When they lead at halftime this year, Tassie, they're 8-2. They're hard to beat when they're in front.
And when they're shooting the ball like this, uncharacteristic for a Melbourne United team to give up a team shooting at 52% and 66, 8 of 12 from the land of plenty.
Well, let's get down to Pete Hooley courtside.
Jack, great first half. We forget about how slow the JackJumpers started. Scott Roth called a timeout. What changed?
I mean, JC became a beast. Full court pressure, he was doing his thing, and then we settled into the game. And there's always going to be a little nerves when it feels like playoff basketball in this arena and the fans are going crazy.
54 points on the board, only 2 points from Milton Doyle when Magno played 1 minute. Other guys stepped up.
100%, we're a team. That's what it's called. That's the name of the game, and everyone's playing their role. Clint Starnell's been awesome, but we've got a long way to go.
Been a lot of talk about the way the JackJumpers close out games. What's Scott's message?
We keep that secret. That's secret information that only a few can get.
Thanks, mate. Good luck.
I love his body language, McVeigh. Well, they've thrown down the challenge to the ladder leaders, Melbourne United. We'll be back after this to dissect the first half and see if they can get themselves back into this contest.
Fortunately or unfortunately. And Leah, now, who have you got with you? What's going on here?
Well, I've got Richard and Joel, and all I'm going to say is that they live in Tasmania now, and that's all we need to worry about. So I think we just might push on, hey?
And we're not even asking them a question. That's how we're treating them at the moment. All respect down here on the court. Righto, let's get into it. We're going to have the young boys go first. You come over this side with me, mate. Here's your ball. Put it in my hand. Come stand over here. Over there, young lady over there. You're going to go this way. Joey boy, you're going to go that way. You've got to get the ball in, you come back, get a piece, chuck it on the ground, play noughts and crosses, winner goes through to the grand final. We ready? You ready? You're cheating in front of the line, but that's okay.
That's a dollar.
2, 1, let's go! Get behind the lights, that arena. Get behind the lights. You've got to get it later. Oh! Like that, Lockie. What's going on down there?
It's a Melbourne time, it's fine.
Oh, good. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. Go, go, go. What's going on inside? Oh, we're flying in. Good work, Charlie. Great work, mate. Get your piece. Get your piece. We've got... Rocky, last one. All right, no, he's been blocked. You can't put it there. You can't put it there. You've been blocked. It's all right. Go again, son. Go again. What's going on down there, Leah?
I told you we're a Melbourne time.
Leave it alone, Jack. Get out of it. Here we go. We've got a winner in Lockie. And the fist pump, which we love. Got a new goalie. You stand by, mate. Right, big boys. Let's go. Toby. Richard. Ready to go for a spot in the grand final. $500 up for grabs, Leah. Get them going.
Okay, we've got the shoes off and all over here. Gentlemen, are you ready? In 3, 2, 1, let's go!
Oh, a bit of defense.
Defense! A bit of Jack defense going here.
This is unheard of. What's going on here? The defense from Jack. Toby, smart in the middle, I reckon. Smart. Oh, that's on the line. Let's pick one for it. Go this way.
It was a really tough couple of years. Truth was, I was harboring a huge secret, and like really struggled with who I was. I was terrified to come out to my teammates, let alone how other teams and the boys would sort of react and feel about it all. And that's very natural, obviously, you know, it's a really daunting experience. Bearing your soul like that and sharing something that you've literally hated about yourself and wanted to just never be a thing so publicly was very weird. But to have them run out and stand there like really proud and look me in the eye and be like, we're with you, was like really special, and I really do remember that. It sticks out and it will forever.
Isaac's journey's been something that I'm very happy to be a part of. Knowing him throughout all of our college career and till now, you see him feel free. You see him being able to be accepted and just not worry about what everyone else is thinking. And I think the best thing about that was I was able to be there in person with him. If anything happened, we were able to talk. He knew he had somebody that he could fully trust right there on his day-to-day basis, like being able to talk things out. Hey, I need a day, let's go do something. And it's just, those little things make people feel at home. And I think it helped him, but it also helped me feel at home with Australia, is knowing that I had a best friend literally sitting right there.
Marcus is one of my best friends in the world. It was amazing to have him on my team last year and in my corner and stuff, like going through a pretty full-on time in my life. It was really tough, but I would never have changed it at all. You know, people do ask me like, oh, would you have done this sooner or changed how you did things? And I immediately say no, like no way, because I learned a lot about myself and I grew as a person, and I learned that I could get through like really dark times and be at the bottom and still make it out the other end.
Half-time, My State Bank Arena in Tassie. The pressure was on the JackJumpers. They'd won only 2 of their last 8 games. Melbourne United were coming to town. They trailed by 10 early. They were able to lead by 2 points at quarter time and then 30 points in that second quarter. And they now have a handy 10-point lead at half-time. Yeah. Leonard Copeland, Andrew Gaze, been pretty impressive.
Oh, they are, and Milton Doyle's only had the 2 shots. He's 1 of 2, but it's been Jack McVeigh and Jordan Crawford getting it done on the offensive end, and down the other end, they've been solid. But it's been the offense that's stuck out, and in particular, Jordan Crawford, 6 of 9 from the field. And he's come back with some really high percentage shooting.
And Leonard, you put him on notice pre-game. You said there was most at stake was Jordan Crawford. His field goal percentage had been down. His numbers were down, particularly at home. He's delivered in the first half.
Somebody gave him a phone call, Drew, and said, look, this Copeland kid is talking trash. Get to work. 16 points, 6 for 9 from the field, 3 for 4 from the three-point line. But it's 16 points, 3 assists, 3 turnovers. But look, he looks like he's in charge. And again, I said you need him and Milton Doyle to play well. But he's rolling right now. And if you can get Milton Doyle to play well in the second half, then Melbourne United could be in trouble.
Well, we'll bring in Olgun for some news, because the Tassie JackJumpers are flying. They had some positive news during the week, but another club, it's a bit disappointing news.
Yeah, Joe, we'll start with the JackJumpers, who have extended Scott Roth. So he has now signed that extension through to the 26-27 season. Now, I think we forget that the JackJumpers only came into the league a few years ago. In their first year, they made the grand final. In the second year, they made the playoffs. And this is their 3rd season, and it looks like they're going to make the playoffs again. So Scott Roth has been a giant part of what that franchise has done, both on and off the court. It made a lot of sense for them to re-sign him, and it has big implications across the board. Obviously on the court, where they're playing really good basketball, but off the court, there is value in having some stability in your coaching staff, and that's what Scott Roth brings. Good news for the JackJumpers, but it's bad news for the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix. They've lost Alan Williams for the remainder of the season. Their starting big man, their best import. He is getting an exploratory meniscectomy on his right knee. So he's out for the remainder of the regular season. He suffered that injury a few weeks ago. You can see it there against the Brisbane Bullets. He's been dealing with that for a little bit of time, and I saw him hobbling the other day at the State Basketball Centre. There was a feeling in that arena that we knew that he was maybe going to have some sort of extra scans and maybe surgery on that, and that's the case. They're going to be without him for the remainder of the season.
Well, of course, this is the first of a doubleheader tonight, a big one to follow. Perth Wildcats taking on the Brisbane Bullets, and there are some big outs in that game. And when we talk about big outs, I mean a 7'10" out.
Rocco is 7'3", Joey. Rocco has come down with an illness, so is Casey Prater, and so those two are out for the Brisbane Bullets. For the Perth Wildcats, they'll be without Christian Doolittle, who suffered a concussion last week. They're also without Alex Saar, who's been dealing with a hip strain. Now, while those are some high-quality outs, this should be a high-quality game. These are the two hottest teams in the league right now. Both have won 4 in a row, and so while they're not 1 and 2 on the ladder, you have 2 on the ladder and then the Brisbane Bullets who are firing, and so regardless of those outs, this should be a really, really good game.
Yeah, massive game still to come after this, but a massive second half, first of all, at My State Bank Arena. Can Melbourne United get over the top of Tassie? We'll find out straight after this. Of course, we are celebrating Champion Pride Round this weekend. The NBL, we know, is a place where people can be themselves without fear, discrimination or judgment. It's been really well received by the basketball community. The colours everywhere. The NBL, a place for everyone. They've done it so well this weekend that it'll continue throughout the rest of the round.
Wow, that's cool. Have a look at that.
All basketballs.
That looks great.
Got one on the desk. We're getting set for a huge second half. I mentioned earlier, they love being the front runners, Tassie JackJumpers. They're tough to run down when they lead at half-time. And they've got a handy 10-point lead. How do Melbourne United get back into this one, boys?
Well, it starts at this end of the floor, and that's not the sort of start that they would like. Come out, splash a 3. Down the other end, they haven't been terrible. 3-point line, they've struggled only 3 of 14, but across the game, they're still shooting at almost 49%. So, and only got 3 turnovers. So there's some decent things happening, notwithstanding the 3-point shooting problems.
Clark gets that one to fall.
Melbourne have to find a way to shut down Tasmania. Although Milton Doyle's not not firing right now. They got these back doors, Drew, and these simple plays that are working for them. And Melbourne are overplaying a lot of these plays, and they're finding ways of scoring.
Well, there's been a lot more cheap action, and they've picked them off. The last month or so they've been in games, it's been a lot of one-on-one, a little bit more coming off the dribble just in general. That's certainly been the eye test for me. But tonight, they're doing it a lot with the cutting action and sharing the ball around. And plays like this. The pass was on. They've been going to the diver. Usually it's been Lee, but this time it's McVeigh. And they bite on the pass. What's the fake? So Doyle comes in, Hookporty's there, the fake, and he bit on the fake, gets to the cup, and disappointed he didn't make it. Whoop. But that's what happens when you've been beat a few times that way, coach, and you can understand why Hookporty is like, hey, I'm here to help, but you've got to do a better job of chasing and getting back in front.
That's a game high, 13 points. McVeigh's been the one. He's got the 15 points, couldn't get that to fall, but again, the hustle from Drimmick, and they'll retain possession.
Like 15, push on the rebound.
That's a third foul on Ariel Hookporty. Of course, no Joe Luala-Chul tonight, so he's going to have to be careful. Might have to play a bit of small ball in this second half. Just a fraction late into that contest. Well on. That's better. He was a fraction early on that one. And tries to show off a bit of handles. And there's Magnate. That's what he does so well. Can Delvedova get going from long range? He can't.
And if I'm the JackJumpers right now, this next play is going inside to Magnate, just to see if Hookporty can guard him.
It's halfway down from Milton Doyle. And shooting it over 60%. Three-point range tonight, Tassie. And now the two big boys just go at it, and Magnate wins the battle. And that's going to be a fourth personal on Hookporty.
Wow. Big moment in this one. What about the strength of Magnate? Bam, bang again. Holds his ground, goes straight up. And Hookporty, just a hint of frustration that he missed that shot. Wanted to, and there's the hook. There's only a little hook. And Magnate, he understands the importance of drawing that foul.
Well, Bowen's going to have to play the 5 now. JLA and Drimmick. But there's Magnate now at the height advantage. Helps himself to another 2. This lead starting to blow out. Early timeout from Melbourne United. Snooze timeout. 15 points the margin.
Yeah, and it's their ability to get to the rim. So far, yeah, they hit that first 3, but if they're missing, they're dominating the boards. And the penetration and finishing either at the cup or the drop-off pass has been a staple and a reliable one in this one.
Take a look at the Mitsubishi Motors leading 3-pointers made when, no surprise, Chris Golding. He's potentially on track to break all sorts of records this year in the 40-point era. Bryce Cotton breathing down his neck after a slow start.
Well, he's got a bit of
lead. Yeah, not
breathing
not
down
running
his
down.
neck.
There's maybe a bit of
OT.
Yeah, it was. But then this man third, Jordan Crawford, who's been able to shoot the ball well tonight, 3 from 4 from long range.
Yeah, nice.
Good to see him get back on track. Because if they got any chance of making any noise in the playoffs, he needs to be bowling.
Well, 6 of 9, 16 points. Is 3 assists. Now, he does have the 4 turnovers, so he's been a little sloppy with it on a couple of occasions, but you're prepared to perhaps overlook that if you're going 6 of 9 and got the 16.
And you got a guy like Delvedova who's
hounding you,
hanging on to you everywhere you move. So
it's a massive opportunity for Tassie tonight. The way the ladder is, they've only got 5 games left after this, but it's a pretty good run. They've got New Zealand, Cairns, Adelaide, and Southeast Melbourne. I know there's no easy games in the NBL,
no,
but
you're right.
Those are sitting in the top 5. But they've got to finish the job here tonight. Because you know Melbourne will keep coming, or they delve it over. It's a couple of turnovers for him.
Well, the idea was right. It was a good look because they were coming out. Chris Golding created the attention.
And both guys went with Chris.
Bowen was a little slow on the slip.
But wide open.
Gonna be.
So they're doing all this, the JackJumpers, without Milton Doyle having any influence. As Crawford's doing all the damage. 19 points, 7 of 10 shooting, 4 of 5 from long range.
Crawford is saying, who? Milton who? I don't need him.
As Travers gets one to go out the other end.
10 points now for Travers. Just quietly going about his business. Travers.
I think 13-1 when Travers scores.
13-1 when he gets over 10.
They got some work to do, bro. They got some work to
keep
do.
that record intact. Talk us through this stroke, Leonard.
Here's that Harvey Norman replay. Great pass for Jordan. He just lifts. Just a lift, pull up for the jump shot. Dribble off, kick it to him.
White 43, block.
And he's feeling it. I mean, he's feeling good about his shot now. So anything he puts up there has a chance to go in.
10 of 15 as a team tonight from long range.
That's outrageously good.
I've just spoken to him.
Especially when you're playing against one of the better defensive teams in the league.
I've just spoken to him.
Okay.
All right, now I'm speaking to you to try and keep control. If you guys don't want to listen, then I'll just use my whistle to control the game.
Well, Jackies on the season have been a good three-point shooting team, 36% as a unit. Ooh, Melbourne, in fact, the best. There's a little, there you go.
Little check.
Golding just flexing his muscles. Luke Travers just steps out for the time being. He's got a bit of blood on the jersey. And his Dreamy goes with the left hand.
That's just too easy, George. It's too easy.
Oh, it is.
Pete Hawley, we'll get to you courtside. What are you seeing down there?
Well, guys, I was listening into Dean Vickman that last time out. His message was obviously on the defensive end as Will Magnay gets the block. He said, right now it looks like they're just hoping the JackJumpers miss rather than trying to dictate what kind of shots they take and try and force them to get some misses. And he said they need to step up on that end first and foremost. And I also did a little bit of research at halftime. I spoke to the legend, that is Mika Vukona, who does some things, great things for the JackJumpers. And I asked him about Scott Roth's 2-foul policy, because Will Magnay's been enormous here to start the third quarter. He said it even frustrates him because it's something Andre Lamanis used to do. Doesn't matter who you are. If you have 2 fouls, you're going to sit. He says, but it seems to be everyone understands what goes on. So that's why Will Magnay only played the 1 minute, but seems to have paid off dividends to start the third.
There's Crawford. That's going to count. And he's doing as he pleases. Then he puts a little shimmy on.
Copes, you know what he was thinking when he did that?
What was he thinking?
Just button up, Copes.
How was it you?
That was directly the shimmy. Said, I think he actually says, hey, Copes, are you seeing what I'm seeing?
No. See, my job is to fire these guys up. I say a little something. People make the phone calls. He gets going. He calls me after the game and says, thank you.
You forced his performance on him
That's
tonight. One of his best. This is going to be 22 points, 8 of 11 shooting. Saw something pretty special last night from Gary Clark for the Illawarra Hawks. He shot the ball
12 of 15.
Yeah, for his 36 points.
He didn't get enough shots. But going back to this Roth thing, 2 fouls and you're not going to play again. So if you get 2 fouls in the first quarter, you're not going to see the light of day until the third quarter?
Well, if that is the hard and fast policy, as soon as you get one, your defensive intensity might drop off ever so slightly.
There is no defense once I get that first foul. You might take me out for not playing, dude, but you're not going to take me out because I got that second foul, because it ain't coming.
That's it.
No one had the ball.
Well, the struggles from the three-point line continue for Melbourne United. They are number 1 in the competition, three-point percentage, but just 3 of 18 tonight, Gazy.
Yeah.
And Golding's got 2 of 8. So that's going to make it hard for them.
And that's
the rim protection without Luala Chulkopes. Yeah. That's a big factor, because the amount of times that the Jackies have been able to get into the paint for relatively easy buckets around the rim has been way too many.
Magnay couldn't get it to finish. McVeigh, he's still got that body language going. He knows Gazy's on this one.
He's a master of getting that crowd going, isn't he?
He's going to go to the free throw line for the...
Clear foul. Wants to engage the fans.
And Melbourne United are 3 for 18 from the three-point line. But you know, Joey, if you can run a team off the three-point line, it's hard for a team to be challenged.
Oh,
tech foul on Tanny Krebs, I believe.
Jeez,
bit chirpy.
Clearly a foul. I don't know what he was complaining about.
He was a bit disrespectful to the referee, in my understanding.
Clear foul, so he got a technical for that.
He waved him away. Whoa.
It was a clear foul.
Yeah, but so...
You gave him the shush, or gave him the wave him away as if to say you don't know what you're doing. That's a clear foul.
Come on.
Wow,
come on, man.
That's a little sensitive.
Come on, bro. Come on,
nah.
I thought it might have been more aggressive.
Yeah, so did I. That was very, very soft.
Cotton soft.
Well, let's not deflect from the fact that Melbourne United are down by 24 points.
Oh.
There's Magnay.
Magnay said no, sir.
He's giving nothing away.
Now they got the travel. They called it travel.
He got it after. He dribbled it. He got it again.
So here's the block. What's wrong with that? What was wrong with that?
I don't know.
Maybe he thought that he actually dribbled, picked it up, and then dribbled again. That's the only, which he didn't, by the way. But gee, that's a.
Just wait on the rules, Joey. Don't try to be the referee here. Just wait on the rules, bro. Because you have proven you can be wrong.
Oh. When was it? 74.
Magnay again swats that one away.
It's not fair. It's not fair.
That's his third. He is loving it. He was fresh, Leonard. He's been sitting on the pine all half. He's come out.
He's got fresh legs. No, sir.
They're giving this Melbourne United side nothing tonight. Absolutely nothing.
You know, he's one of the players, when you think of what coming up with the Olympics. Now I know it's a bit of a stretch, but I think that it's someone that Brian Gorgic should be taking a look at when you think of what the Boomers actually need.
Yes.
Specific role. We're not talking about the best player, but when you talk about a specific role of what he can do on the defensive end, you don't have to stretch your imagination too far to see how that could be of some benefit.
Well, if he can keep getting more minutes at the back end of this season, and then what he can do throughout the finals, if he can provide that sort of offense as well. I've seen him do that quite on that occasion. Scoring has really dried up for Melbourne. Just 7 points this quarter. They've turned to Brad Newley, the veteran, who's trying to get the continuation, but...
Well, he's engaged. As in Will Magnay, he's everywhere. Look at that, fighting over the top, then getting back. He's hunting down block shots. He wants them. You love that.
Don't miss your chance to be a part of the world-famous Harlem Globetrotters Global Tour. They bring the extreme basketball fun and innovation to the city near you. Make sure you get your tickets, www.hg2024.nbl.com.au. That will be a lot of fun. As Magnay's having a lot of fun with his partner in crime, Marcus Lee.
There's still plenty of time left in this ball game. And
not if both teams continue to play the way they're playing.
No, that's true. There needs to be a change.
An adjustment.
But I can't remember when this season in particular where the Melbourne United struggled so much on the offensive end.
Well, just that, maybe that Cairns game where they play, where they got completely...
Well, that's true.
Completely
that's
wiped. That's been the only game this year.
And remember last year when Shea Ely was missing games and they struggled? As soon as you brought him in, he found guys and got guys going, got them going. So they need Shea Ely, man. They're missing him. He's a vital part of that.
Travers again takes another knock and a hard fall. Seems to be okay again. Now he's playing a bit banged up. He was off the blood rule and he's got a sore shin. Copped a knee knock. And he continues to battle on. They need him. Down a couple of troops. Last time these two sides played, he had the 14 points, 13 rebounds.
Well, he always does a bit of everything, doesn't he? He's got the 11 points, 4 of 7 from the field, 4 rebounds. Only got the 1 assist, couple of steals.
Now they're starting to miss some free throws as well. And they put together a strong final 3.5 minutes, Melbourne, just to give themselves a chance. You just feel the way the JackJumpers are playing, they're not going to relent. Here's Drimmick, pulls up. McVeigh is playing strong all night. Cameron getting some minutes. Newley, good feed, good find to Clark.
Well, it is, and one of the keys to their success is the hustle on the boards. 36-22, they lead that category in this contest. That's a domination.
There's Clark, picks the pocket of Doyle. Thought about it. Pass a bit hot from Golding to Newley as we get back down to Pete Hawley.
Guys, we spoke about off the top how important Shea Ili is to Melbourne United and whether Delhi would go to Jordan Crawford, who's sitting on 22 points, or Milton Doyle with just the 2 points. And this Tassie team has 74 points on the board. You wouldn't read about it any other game, and it's also important to remember last year with Shea Ili, Melbourne United were 11-3. Without him, 3-9. So certain teams have barometers. Seems like they're missing him a lot more tonight.
And that's the truth. They miss him on both ends of the floor. I mean, he sets up these guys offensively. He's a hell of a defender as well, so.
That's about 3 or 4 times in this quarter. They've passed it where they should be, not where they are. And the actions are there, but just not quite coordinated. And a lot of that gives some credit to the Jackies, the ball pressure. Just slight adjustment with your pass, and you only have to be off a count, and the timing can go all right.
Yeah, 3 of them, didn't he, all around him? Then Golding wasn't able to find Travers. Here's the ball movement of the JackJumpers again. Was the height advantage on Travers.
It just looks so simple.
It does.
Swing, 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 throw it inside. Right-hand hook.
A bit of desperation from Clark early in the shot clock. Another offensive rebound. Now Crawford waving away. Vidanovic, he wants Krizlovic. He likes the matchup. Gets downhill, uses his speed. And there's the hustle and scramble again.
Well, this is just, you got really 5 guards on the floor now. If you count Brad Newley, now I know he's playing a little bit more positionally as a 4-man, but right now, Dean Bickerman has got a lineup that I don't think we've seen the entire season.
Just good scramble and hustle. Krizlovic, Steindl. Crawford's been ultra aggressive all night. Up to 24 points now.
Well, they've got Blog on there, and it's just small right across the board. And sometimes you just go, well, we're getting it handed to us on the glass, so let's just throw it out there and see if we can come up with a problem for the JackJumpers, because the JackJumpers at both ends of the floor haven't had any real significant problems to deal with.
He's had a couple of 30-point games this year, Jordan Crawford. He's on track for another one. There's Newley. Worried out of it by Vidanovic and McDonald. Damn, well done, Krebs. So they got Blog, Newley, Flynn, Cameron, Krebs and Travers on the floor.
Yeah. No one had this on their bingo card before the start of the game. No chance that you're going to see this type of lineup, I wouldn't have thought. Joey?
Nope. You see Leonard looking hard down there, just strolling down
the rebounds. I just can't believe.
Plus 20.
Plus 20 on the boards.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the first this year, you'd have to say.
And there we see Delhi on the coach, and I think that a lot of people go, you know, Melbourne United had a bad night. They've had a bad night because of what the JackJumpers have done.
Wow. There's Blog knocking down a triple. Tell you what, it seems so loud there, Pete Hawley. The crowd, they seem to be enjoying this one.
Well, fellas, this is what the JackJumpers, the Ant Army's been waiting for. 4,340 packed into MyState Bank Arena. It sounds like 40,000. There is literally not a spare seat left. In fact, the only spare seats are guys going to get more beers so they can be louder. I just saw a bloke with 3 coming back from the bar. He said, I saw you, Bryce Cotton's dad. I'm going to one-up you.
Crawford disappointed. He missed that one. He was wide open. And you feel Tassie just still got something to offer in this season, down the stretch.
I never lost faith in them.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did, Drew. I think you did.
No, I didn't.
You sure?
No, over the first 2 years I did. But this year I went early, and although they've been losing some games, I haven't necessarily. You know, there's some things you can point to that they need to do better, but I still think that they play with such control on the offensive end that they're always going to be a handful.
Here's Krebs for the final shot of the third quarter. A quarter that was completely dominated by the Tassie JackJumpers. They are in a mood tonight, and they're putting Melbourne United to the sword. 3-quarter time, 21-point lead. It's been the JackJumpers' night tonight. After a slow start, they were down 11-1 early, but they have just gone from strength to strength. This game has gone on. They led by 2 points at quarter time. They extended that to a 10-point lead at halftime and 21-point lead at 3-quarter time. They're all getting involved. McVeigh and Crawford doing the damage on the offensive end. Magnay getting it done at the defensive end. As we take a look at the live ladder and what this means for Tassie. And what is important to know too is the percentage. So if a number of these teams are equal wins and losses, Tassie has got a very, very healthy percentage.
Yeah, that's could almost mean an extra win.
Do you have any concerns, Leonard, for Melbourne? This will most likely be their third loss in 5 games.
Not really, because I know that what they got coming back. Shea Illy's coming back. JLA is coming back. And they're on the road. They've done the hard lifting. Yes, they got to continue to play well, but they've done the hard lifting early in the season when they won all these games. They banked a lot of games.
Yeah, they got 2 more road games, which I think are going to be important. They got Brisbane, I think, and then Sydney. So
if they split that, if they go 1-1, that's 2 road games. They got a couple of games at home that they should be comfortable with. So I reckon they'll still finish in first.
Yeah, it's hard to see them missing out on first.
Yeah.
They really have to implode a bit for that to happen.
The question is, whoever they play in the playoffs, can they take something from them, like when Cairns came to town, took something from them, or the JackJumpers are taking something from them. So whoever's coaching against them needs to be watching these games.
Oh, jeez.
Is that a Falcon? That's rubbing salt into the wound. Doyle just throwing into the back of Trevor's head. He's been in the wars tonight. He's been banged up. He's had the blood rule. He's coming into the game with sore shins. He's got down once and then...
Falcon.
Oh, that's side of night.
Right off the nugget.
4 seconds to get a shot off. Plenty of time.
Where are they going to turn to? Milton Doyle, remarkably, still just 2 points. 1 of 3.
It's a tough guy to have inbounding because he's so small.
That. Yeah, grab your biggest guy and put your biggest guy there. You're never going to get it in.
He wanted it back. Instead, Magnay goes at it alone. Throws it off the top of the backboard. With a wry smile. And everything's falling their way tonight for the JackJumpers.
Well, they've had the good combination with Lee really playing well in that first half. And this,
okay. We got 2 grown men meeting at the top of the rim.
Well, it was, and he couldn't quite get it over the rim, though, Copes. So, good. Have a look at the shot here. When you're having a good night, these types of things fall your way. And bang, 2 big boys going at it.
That's love to see that. Just the 6 points for Hook Porty. Now 7. 5 of them have come from the strike. We'll be keen to get Joe Luala-Chul back in the lineup. Hopefully he's not too far away. Hopefully available next weekend. Still not sure about Shea Illy and those concussion symptoms. Hopefully he's not too far away. We've spoken about how important he is. Of course, Tassie next week, New Zealand and Cairns. A real opportunity to cement themselves in the top 4. Try and finish 3rd, potentially 2nd. Of course, Perth playing after this one.
Looks like he just slipped over.
Yeah, he stepped on his...
Those decals have caused some issues for some players throughout the season.
Oh, no, sorry,
the shoe, yeah.
I think he's a little unlucky because he's in a sound defensive position and he just steps on his foot.
Yeah. What does Dean try to get in this 4th quarter, Joey? Now, 20 points down, yeah, you want to try to come back and win, but sometimes it's...
Well, I think the biggest thing is, as we know, with Melbourne United, it's what they've been doing on the defensive end. The Jackies are shooting at 58% from the 3-point line, 10 of 17. So they haven't guarded the 3-point line well. And that'll be disappointing for the Jackies. An offensive rebound on the free throw. And this no ball tour, if you haven't heard about it, which would be unusual, but if you haven't heard about it, this is going to be an absolute cracker.
Who's coming down?
We've got Scottie Pippen.
Your man, Scottie Pippen.
We've got Horace Grant and we've got Luke Longley that all were part of a dynasty that we have not seen a lot of in NBA history. Arguably the greatest basketball team ever assembled.
Luke Longley be in touch with Jordan at all? Would he have Jordan's number in his phone?
Well, he is.
Just give
and my word, he would.
Yeah.
When they did the Australian story on Luke Longley, he reached out to MJ and said, MJ, you fresh aired me in the,
in the doco.
Yep. And he said, I got you, Luke. He said, I got you, Luke. Send your crew in. And he was there and made himself available and spoke very nicely about the big Luke Longley as Drimmick knocks down the 3-ball. So they'll have some yarns.
And I'm always interested to see what Pippen's yarns are. Sometimes he's positive, sometimes he's a bit more, he's
out there.
Yeah.
He's had a few issues with MJ.
Yeah.
And so you should have.
There's a wedding coming up, isn't there? Hook Porty with a finish. Come on, bros.
Well, I don't know. I think that relationship was something special, Joey. And
you mean Jordan and Pippen?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought you were talking about something else.
No.
Here's Crawford just playing with him tonight. Oh, he's missed a few now. Can Doyle get in on the act?
Look at that. The shimmy.
Probably should have gone there, gave it up.
They've done a very good job on Doyle, though. I mean, although he's not as aggressive as he should be, they've kept him out of there.
I actually like the way that because there's been a bit of a margin, Milton Doyle hasn't forced the issue. He's only had the 3 shots. He's got 2 points, 1 of 3, but he's been prepared to share it around and not force himself into the contest while things are rolling for the Jackets.
Better man than me.
Yeah, that's true.
But we're up 20, I got to get it up.
And that is his strength, isn't he, Milton Doyle? He plays to what the game's giving him, what the game needs and requires. It's not really required in this one.
We talk about what Dean Vickerman wants. He doesn't want to see what he just saw then. Now, I know it was an air ball, and it makes it more difficult, but they have been annihilated on the boards, and he wants to see some ownership. So it's an air ball, but Chris Golding thinking it's going to come off the glass and doesn't put his attention in the Drimmick, and as such, gets an easy 2. Tough.
There's Golding.
Tough shot.
Knocks down number 4. That's a consistent number for him throughout the whole season, knocking down those 4 3-pointers. He's just taken the 10 attempts, which they did want to try and get from him. As now Doyle gets in on the act. Talk about Melbourne United building their game off their defence. When they've conceded 95 points, which has been 6 times this year, they've lost 4 of those 6. And it's going to be another one tonight. So it'll be 5 of 7. When they concede 95, they've been beaten. Well, it's not easy to do that. And hopes to score 95 on them, but they show that they're vulnerable if you can.
They are, and you know what, though? The one thing about Melbourne United, whenever they do have a letdown on the defensive end or a game where they're not playing well, Dean Vickerman is so smart about it. He comes back out that next game, makes those adjustments, and that's why they haven't lost 2 games in a row this year. So they're a good enough team to know they're going to lose games. Some games are not going to go their way, but they're smart enough to come back that next game, make those adjustments, and get the job done. When do you pull your starting 5, Joey? How much time?
Well,
how much time do you give him?
We saw him, Dean, take a look at some real unusual lineups at the end of the 3rd. So I think right now, Dean is almost ignoring the scoreboard and just trying to get actions, trying to get things back on track. Yeah, you still want to hope for something crazy to happen and give yourself a chance to get back into it, but the reality of it is now he's probably thinking more like this is a practice session, you know, how are going to get to the opportunity to execute some of the details that they're trying to get to.
We've got a pretty familiar 5 on the floor at the moment. Dellavedova, Hook Porty, Bowen, Clark and Golding. Eight assists for Dellavedova tonight to go with his 8 points. He's been averaging over 9 assists a game the last month, the last 4 games. Hoping to get his mate back, Shea Illy, pretty soon. Go down to Marcus Lee. Backs down on Bowen. He's got that size, draws the foul.
It is, and he doesn't do that all that often. Normally he's in there, if he's not point blank, he's looking to make the extra pass, but that time with no help coming, they left Bowen out there, and he just gets to his spot.
Looks like he might have trained against Bowen last year, and he had a couple of good moves, so he goes, well, let me take this young fella. I don't know who's boss here.
Of course, don't forget, stay with us, don't go anywhere to follow this one. There's another massive game. Perth Wildcats taking on the Brisbane Bull. It's 2nd v 5th. Both teams on 4-game winning streaks. Copes, I know you're looking forward to the next game. It's going to be an absolute beauty.
It is.
I can't wait. I am looking forward to it. The sooner we get this thing on, the better.
Holden told us a few outs for Brisbane Bulls. No Rocco Zakarski, no Casey Prather. Perth humming.
Yeah.
Cotton and Sobey. It's going to be a matchup. Looking forward to Copes' analysis on that one straight after this.
We can switch gears quickly, Copes. We wish you well, my man.
Thank you.
Tipping inside the final 5 minutes. It was McVeigh that started a bit of the comeback and the revival for Tassie early. Oh, he's called for a travel on that occasion. He's got the 20 points.
Well, they're down, what was it, 11 to 1.
Yeah.
And McVeigh splashes a couple of threes, gets people involved, gets the crowd engaged, and it all turned around from there.
Porty getting some points in this 4th quarter. Up to 13 now with his 7 rebounds.
I reckon I'm pulling my 5 right now, and I think Dean's thinking the same as me. These guys, when one gets hurt, and one's fresh, good to go.
There's Doyle just giving the crowd something late.
That's smooth. Back-to-back for him personally. Last 2 shots of 3 balls. It's up to 8 points. 3 of 5. Another one of those almost passes. That's the type of action that the JackJumpers have had great success from with those back cuts. And Melbourne United just not connecting on them.
Continuing to play tough defence. Smashing on the glass.
Is that a pass?
Is that intended to be a pass?
Well, either way, it's
2 points.
It's 2 points.
That's correct.
And it's starting to blow out now for Melbourne United. The intensity's gone off. Can't remember the last time we heard a whistle.
Letting the boys play. This one's petering out. Everyone's gearing up for the 2nd of the doubleheader.
Not everyone.
Again, his ball movement's been a feature. Salvadova gets the foul and the points to fall.
Harvey Norman replay. The shimmy, the crossover. Had Bowen not in a position for that step back or step across. And he knocks it down. Beautiful play, Milton Doyle.
We do get our snooze time out, and it's a comfortable 23-point lead to Tassie.
It's impressive. The Jackies would have come in this game very nervous, and to have a performance like we've seen would help ease the anxiety. We've spoken about the table. The difference between 3rd where they are and 10th where Adelaide are is a couple of weeks. And to get a win against the #1 team, that helps just calm things down, grow some confidence, and you build from here.
You know, but the thing is, if one of those top teams lose 2 in a row, or one of those bottom teams win 2 in a row, teams change positions straight away. So just gotta handle what you do.
Handle your business.
Handle your business.
Dean Vickerman still quite animated with his group. trailing by 23 points. So we take a look at the Tassie JackJumpers run home. I mentioned before, I know it's never easy in the NBL, particularly this season, but it's a pretty favourable run home. New Zealand currently 9th, Cairns sitting in 6th. We know Adelaide are playing better basketball, but they are down the bottom of the table. South East Melbourne with some injuries, and then a tough one to finish.
Well, it's true, but the 3rd and 6ers are playing some really good basketball of late. Impressive win that they had over the South East Melbourne Phoenix. And you look at that table, and Phoenix, I know it's hard because of the results they've had. They're still 9 and 13. They're not out of it. Now, there need to be a radical turnaround in form, but if you take their form from early on in the season, then it's not beyond the realms of possibilities.
Well,
but, of course, it's handicapped now with Al Williams.
Of course. I was going to say that. Didn't help them that they lose Big Sauce, who is a double-double waiting to happen.
It takes one weekend. We've seen it. Some results just go ways that we don't expect, and it can be flipped on its head. There's going to be more twists in this Hungry Jacks NBL 24. We know that for sure. So probably right for the picking tonight, Melbourne United, when you think about it. 5 games in on the road, injuries, sitting on top. No doubt they'll be disappointed, but as we've touched on, they'll bounce back. I think tonight says more about Tassie.
It does. Faced with a little bit of adversity, and they've answered the question. They played with great intensity. Gave United a very nice start to the proceedings, leading 11-1. And there were some ominous signs there earlier, but they've bounced back, and it's just been a domination.
Well, we spoke about the big game straight after this one. We'll throw down courtside because the team are ready. Kelsey Brown.
Second instalment of a big Friday night of hoops sees us back at RAC Arena, where Bryce and the Wildcats take on Sobey and the Bullets. Both teams coming in on a 4-game win streak. Damian Martin, who goes for 5?
Look, I'm going to go with the home court advantage here with the Perth Wildcats, but there's big outs on both teams. Doolittle for the Wildcats is going to be sorely missed, and then you look down the other end of the court, Rocco Zakarski, that ring protection he offers, and then Casey Prayley, we won't see him either tonight. So key outs for both teams. I'm going to go with that home court advantage, though. Wildcats make it 5.
Don't go anywhere. We'll be back here soon.
Gee. Of course, no Doolittle and Sart. We forgot about that for the Perth Wildcats.
Really bold by Damo. Bold.
Well, what are you looking forward to? How are you predicting that one?
Nah.
You think Perth?
No, I think Perth. Yeah. I think, although Brisbane have been playing some.
What do they want? 4 in a row? Is it 4 in a row or 3 in a row?
Both won 4 in a row.
4 in a row, yeah. So yeah, I got to go Perth as well at home. The way Cotton's been playing.
Yeah.
But Sobey's been playing well as well. Oh, this might be a good game to watch, huh? I can't wait.
This is just the 5th time this year Melbourne United have conceded 100 points. No surprises, they've lost 4 of those 5.
6 of 25 from the 3-point line from Melbourne United.
Is that the key to beat them? If other teams are watching, if you shut them down on the 3-point line, do you have a chance?
It helps, but a contributing factor to that is they've had to take the ball out of the net a little bit more regularly. 60% 3-point shooting by the JackJumpers. So they haven't been able to get their running game going, and they get a fair chunk of their points, those 3-point attempts in transition, and they just haven't had as many of those opportunities. Taking good care of the ball. Melbourne United with only the 7 turnovers. That's really good. 11 turnovers for the Jackies, which is pretty decent by them as well. And this is an area when you think of where the JackJumpers can improve. Now, a lot of it comes down to the style of play that you're playing, but only 14% of Tasmania's score this season have come from the free throw line. It's the lowest of all the teams in the league heading into this round. So they don't get a lot of points from the free throw line.
I hate to be one to say, I told you so, but I did say if Jordan Crawford needed to lift And he's done a very good job of playing the way he did earlier in the season, and that's when they were winning.
No, there's no doubt you're in some finals type form. And it's
inspirational.
I tell you.
Cokes.
It's just...
Let me tell you something. Can I get a bottle of water, please? I need to splash both these guys.
Well, Gazy, who would you be going with the Foot Locker player of the game? You're going Crawford or you're going McVeigh?
Well, I'm going to actually...
going early.
No, I'm actually going to lean a little bit towards McVeigh because of
McVeigh as well.
At the start of the game, when things looked bleak, he gave him that injection and got him back on track. Now, that's harsh because Crawford's been good. Both of them shooting at 50%.
Identical shooting, actually.
Can we give dual Foot Locker players of the game?
Let them split it, bro. Let them split it. It's up to you. You're Andrew Gage, yo. You can do what you want. Give the whole team. Give it to the whole team.
No, I think there's got to be a... Gee, there's a good argument.
Oh, there's Lee. He's got a double-double tonight against his former side. He's enjoyed it.
Who are you giving it to, Joey? Make up your mind.
It's well, it's a draw, but on a...
Get off the fence, Joey. Pick a name. Get off the fence.
On a count back, I'm going to go with Jack McVeigh.
As they bring out all the starters.
Count back.
We're going to give player of the game.
Why can't we give two? They can share it. They give you that pair of shoes, give them a shoe each.
One sneaker each. Size 9 and a size 14.
They just sign it and they'll keep it as a trophy. I remember the time I was co-player of the game. Oh.
Both teams have turned to the bench right now. Tom Coppins getting some minutes for Melbourne United.
Who are you going with, McVeigh or Crawford, coach?
I am going with Crawford.
Okay. Well, it's a deciding vote, Joey.
No, Jack McVeigh for me.
Rightio.
Right, okay. I'll see where this is going. Set me up.
This is Walter Brown. Got some players on the floor. Joe Bairstow, Lockie Barker getting some minutes as well.
Zach Triplett seeing his first action as well. We had Lockie Barker as a development player when we were at Sydney. And gee, some of the battles he had with Jerome Randall and Kevin Lewis.
And Jason Kennedy.
Oh, he'd have some training days where you go, man, this guy's in the wrong league. And it's great to see him get an opportunity. Had an injury issues playing for Frankston last season in the NBL1, but he's a quality player. In fact, Brad Newley's going to be back with Frankston. Isn't that great? Brad Newley, just the love of the game that he has, playing here another season with Melbourne United.
Been doing it for a long time.
Going back and playing with the Frankston Blues.
Did the Frankston Blues beat you guys, Joey, this year?
No, we got them.
Oh, you got them, did you?
Thank you. All right. The high-quality team.
There's Tom Coppins. I'm going to say that's his first ever point in the NBL.
First ever?
Oh, I can't find much statistical data on him. He hasn't come up on my,
no,
my notes there.
Another one that had a good season in Sandringham Sabres in the NBL1.
Either way, it's going to be Melbourne United's biggest loss of the season.
And although it's a massive loss, I still think they'll be fine. Shea Ely to come back. KLA to come back. They make a couple of adjustments, and they're back on track.
Oh, yeah, I don't think Melbourne United will be hitting the panic button because of this one.
They've been comprehensively outplayed tonight. The Tassie JackJumpers have defended the island. They bounced back in a big way after the heartbreaking loss, or back-to-back losses last week. Big winners, 21 points. Jack McVeigh is our Foot Locker player of the game. He got them going early, 4 of 6 from long range. He had the body language, he got the crowd involved, 23 points for him. Well done to Tassie. And they cement themselves in third spot. Scott Roth's happy. He might shout the boys dinner. He signed his contract.
Well, he gets the freebies. He's got the hookup, hasn't he?
He's got the restaurant as well.
I'm sure you'd have the hookup down.
#1 restaurant in Tassie.
Hope you enjoyed the game. There's still a big one to follow this. Perth Wildcats, Brisbane Bullets. Don't go anywhere. The second of our doubleheader, but it was the Jack Jumpers night tonight.